Here I go, here I go, here I go. Yeah, here I go, here I go.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another episode of the Take Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Burleson, of course, and in today's episode, I'm joined by a Packers fan, Ethan Krinke, in the house. I appreciate you joining the podcast, man.
Of course, thanks for having me on the show. Go Pack Go.
So, go Pack Go. Cowboys Nation, baby. But we're going to get into some Sunday night matchups or some Sunday games yesterday before we get into the Monday night game. So we're going to talk about the Texans versus Cardinals first, just kind of start off. Trust me, guys, we'll get into Cheifs Eagles later. So the Texans and Cardinals, that was a really good game. There were a lot of things to take away from that. The biggest thing for me was CJ Stroud. You know, he's making very elite throws. You know, he's in the MVP conversation. Even after a 3-interception game, it's just he's been having a remarkable season. The Texans weren't even expected to be good this year. So for me personally, I just think, 6-4. I mean, that's fantastic to me. And he broke the Ohio State quarterback curse. I mean,
yes. Yeah, that's what I've been thinking this whole time. It's like every Ohio State quarterback hasn't been very good when they come into the professional leagues. I mean, maybe Justin Fields, we'll see. But CJ Stroud, this is his first year, and he's already off. Like he's right off the diving board in.
Yeah, and he's making like Tank Dell, Nico Collins, like all those guys look like all-pro receivers. Like right now, it's like it's kind of scary how good he is already, and I'm like, oof, man.
Yeah, it's also, I mean, of course, Kyler Murray, making his second game of the season.
Yeah, making razzle-dazzle plays, like
not playing for how long was it? Like a year?
Yeah, I mean, like almost like it was like a little under, like yeah, it was. I think it was a year. And he still has the speed. I mean, the torn ACL, it doesn't seem like he's really like affected too much by it, which is like, that was the main concern for Kyler Murray, which I think, his ability to extend plays with his legs, be fast, like that's what makes him Kyler Murray. That's what makes him the special talent that came out of Oklahoma. So for him to be able to still have that ability and coming back, I mean, that's a positive sign for the Cardinals moving forward. Because now this Caleb Williams talk can just stop, and they don't need to worry about drafting a quarterback. Now they can worry about building around Murray.
Yeah, I mean, that's like Kyler Murray too. I mean, I remember last week, his first game back, I remember seeing him come off the sideline for like the first drive, and he looked ready to go. He looked calm, composed, and it just kind of stood out to me on the TV. Like, okay, he doesn't seem like. And then he starts playing, of course, and didn't see anything too bad. Just looked comfortable. Look comfortable out there, like he's.
Yeah,
ready
I mean,
to go
he looked
again.
comfortable. He had that one bad throw. It was on 4th down. To give him a chance to win the game. He had that one bad throw, which is, I mean, that's uncharacteristic from Kyler Murray. He kind of threw it low. It was really wobbly. There's no spiral on it, really. Honestly, that probably lost them the game, to be honest. And that one play on the punt, when the guy got hit with the ball on the Houston sideline, number 37, he definitely got hit with the ball there, and the refs didn't even turn that over. Like, the Cardinals got screwed there.
I don't always know what they mean by that because the confirmation is right there on the replay. He got hit by the ball. I know that sometimes there actually is no confirmation. Like, for example, like sometimes they'll say like, oh, he didn't make the catch or whatever because it wobbled, and you can't get a good enough replay of him securing the ball. Things like that, yes. But like he hit him in the back. It's so obvious. I'm tired of that.
And like when it comes to like referees, like that's your job. Like, you got to make the right call, and they just didn't make the right call in that situation. Now, it didn't really affect the game too much
because then Stroud threw a pick.
Yeah, because Stroud threw a pick in the end zone, but I mean, it's still like the Cardinals just were getting some calls like that shouldn't have been really happening like all game. Like, and yeah, we were watching with a Cardinals fan, and he was very frustrated.
Oh.
Like,
yeah, I mean, I'd probably be too. It sucks.
I mean, because like their hope like to win out or whatever and make the playoffs. Like, I mean, it was a long shot, but I mean, it was good while it lasted, I guess.
Sure.
But
well, I mean, if I'm a Cardinals fan right now, I would just be happy knowing that Murray is back and he seems to be okay right now. So they'll get a high draft pick. They can get somebody to help the team, and they could probably, as long as Murray stays healthy and a lot of people stay healthy, they could be in the mix next year.
Yeah, I think the next year for sure, but this year
Not even.
it's kind of written off already because it's just too late. Kyler Murray came back way too late in the season. If he came back maybe like week 3, week 4, it'd be a different conversation. But since he came back like week 10, it's not the same. Not the same. So let's talk about Justin Herbert versus Jordan Love in Lambeau Field. That game was nuts. Like, I don't know how the Packers came out of that alive, but somehow, some way, Quentin Johnson dropped the game-winning touchdown somehow, and Justin Herbert delivered a perfect dot. I feel so bad for Justin Herbert sometimes because, like, he's so darn talented, but his team just sells him out so many times. And his defense, oh, yeah, by the way, Joey Bosa got carted off the field that game.
And Aaron Jones. So a rough day for injuries in that game. And or actually also the Packers' third string back running back, I believe his name is Emmanuel Wilson, new rookie. He also had a bad injury. So yeah, tough day for injuries.
Was that the one where like he went out of bounds and yeah, I do remember that
number
one.
31, yeah. So the Packers only have A.J. Dillon now on the
dude. He was A.J. Dillon was running pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
feels like he's been doing a little better, but still not quite to where he could be.
Yeah.
With his
I feel like A.J. Dillon, like, he could be a lot better. Like, we've talked about that. Like, you think like with his size, like he should be a lot better than he is. Like, his potential is high, but he just can't seem to reach it sometimes, which I'm sure that's frustrating as a Packers fan.
Oh yeah. But going back to your previous point about like Quinton Johnson, the dropped pass. I don't know if that actually would have been a touchdown. I feel like the cornerback would have been able to make the play, the tackle. But it definitely would have gotten the Chargers like right on the verge of field goal range, which could have tied the game, of course. Yep. So yeah, as a Packers fan, I know the Packers got lucky in that game. And yeah, I don't know. It sucks to be Justin Herbert. It must be kind of painful to lose a game like that because the Chargers, they've lost so many close games.
Like, haven't they lost like 4?
Like 5. I think
5 games now.
I counted it. I think it's 5. Once they're like 2-5 and 1-score games, 1 possession games.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah,
they're probably gonna clean house on the coaching staff at some point.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they do it before this season ends.
Mid-season, they fire their head coach.
Honestly, if they keep losing games like this, like just in this exact same way, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
It doesn't help when, Johnson wasn't the only one dropping passes.
No,
Keenan Allen dropped one. Like, it was just weird. It was a weird day for the Chargers, and they're just a weird team. They can hang with almost anybody, but they just can't come out on top for some reason. Like, I don't know what it is about them. They're just strange.
I feel like they're always kind of like that for some reason. I don't know if you remember this, but back in 2010, the Chargers had the best offense and best defense.
With Phillip Rivers and...
Yep, but they had like the worst special teams, and they missed the playoffs by like a few games.
What? Yeah. They missed the playoffs? Mm-hmm. Oh, man. That's not good, dude.
Yeah. Best offense and best defense in the league.
No, that's so bad. Man, I honestly, I don't feel for them, but at the same time, I do. So, I don't know.
They should be good,
but they're not. They're just mid. Like their peak is like a little bit above average, just a tad.
But they're not. But that's the thing, though. They're supposed to be above average, but they're playing below average. They're 4-6. That's 2 games below .500.
Yeah.
There are a lot of teams that are 4-6 right now, like Falcons, Commanders.
Yeah,
like
the Packers.
Like the Chargers are not like those teams, but they have the same record as them. So I don't know. Buccaneers as well. I think they're also 4-6.
Yeah, and they lost to San Francisco. A team who should have really won the Bears. I mean, they should have won their game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what was going on over there. I don't know how they sold that hard. I mean, you said they had a 98% chance to win that game?
Yeah, when they were up 26-14 with like 4 minutes left, I think ESPN has it at like 98%. They had a 98% chance to win the game, which is I don't think I've ever seen it that high and then blown. 'Cause I like to look at that stuff a lot with like big comebacks and stuff and see like how high was it. You know, I think that's like that's about the highest I've ever seen it.
But would you say like I don't know who you can put it on because like they got the ball with like 30 seconds left, and immediately it was a safety. Immediately, and the guy literally kicked it in the end zone, didn't even try to dive on it. Like, why would you not dive on the ball and at least keep your team in the game, even if it's at like bad field position? You know, like I feel like you're just staring at it. He didn't really know what to do. He was kind of like, maybe the ball's right here. Like
maybe he thought like he wasn't gonna get it anyway. Like if he was gonna jump on it and then it was just gonna pop out from under his body. He kind of does that sometimes, like when players try to recover fumbles. But
I don't know. That Bears offensive line needs some work, man.
yeah,
Like they're just not good. Like I don't know. There's no other way to explain it. But Justin Fields is the guy. Like he's the franchise quarterback. He's the guy that's going to lead them moving forward. They just need to start building around him a little bit more. That's all they need to do.
I actually do agree with that. I mean, even though I'm a Packers fan, like Justin Fields, he's not terrible. And I remember, going back to like the first 3 games of the season where the Bears were just terrible, 0-3 start and all that. Honestly, I didn't expect the Bears to play that bad in the first game against the Packers. And
well, everyone thought they were going to be like able to win the division this year. Possibly.
Yeah, possibly.
Those went out the window quick. I mean
the division was kind of wide open because, no one knew the Lions were going to be 8-2.
But people thought the Lions were going to be this good, though.
Yes, they did think the Lions were like the favorites to win the NFC North. I don't know how many people expect them to be like 8-2, which is like second seed almost probably.
Yeah, they are the second seed. They're above San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So they're right in the hunt, but they are, to me, like after that Bears win, they just don't look as good as advertised. Like everyone's saying, oh, like the Dan Campbell culture,
maybe,
Jared Goff, Monroe St. Brown, like Aiden Hutchinson. Those they got some guys, but are they a legit Super Bowl contender? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I think their NFC Championship game appearance.
I think there's a chance. There's a world where the Lions could get into.
I think they could get in there.
There's a world. I think it could happen. Maybe
they got to get lucky with some of the seedings and like who they play. But yeah, I think it could happen.
If they play my Cowboys, they're done.
I don't know. I think they could beat the Cowboys actually.
I mean, it would be close, but I don't know if they do.
I don't.
I think we have a better defense. We have better secondary.
I don't. Yeah, but the Lions do have a good offense. The Lions have a good offense though, so they could. The
Cowboys have a good offense too.
But the Cowboys haven't played like when they play bad teams, they destroy them.
The Lions haven't played. The Lions haven't played many good teams.
Yeah.
The only team they beat was the Cheifs, and they didn't have Chris Jones or Travis Kelce.
And that's fair to say, but it just still wins.
Their schedule is cake. They lost to the Seahawks.
They lost. Yep, and they lost to the Ravens. 38-6 massacre.
Yeah,
But the Cowboys have lost to good teams as well. The Niners, 42-10 that Week 5 game, Sunday night. Oof. That is just not how you want to perform on national television. All right. What other games did the Cowboys lose?
We lost the Eagles, and it wasn't Dak. That
was a quality loss.
It wasn't Dak Prescott's fault. We just had a couple plays where we were on the 1 yard line. We were a yard short. Like that one that was like a touchdown, but his knee was down at literally behind the line. That was so heartbreaking. Yeah, because we were in the game the entire time. We just couldn't pull it out. Like I was just like, man, we're right. Here's the thing about the Cowboys, and I honestly, we weren't even going to talk about them, but I will for a second. Here's the thing about them, right? The Cowboys are always good enough to win, but we're never able to become clutch. Like we never like have that quarterback that's like, okay, a minute and 30 left, go win us the game. Romo was the same way. Like you couldn't give him the ball and be like, okay, minute and 30 left, you go win the game. Dak Prescott, same way. You can't do that. Like he has to have everyone in place to be able to win a Super Bowl. You can't rely on him. Our defense has to play well. And Mike McCarthy has not been a great play caller this year without Kellen Moore. I know I hated on Kellen Moore in the past, but we're seeing how Mike McCarthy is having very questionable play calls in the red zone specifically because we started out very slow in the red zone this year. We weren't effective. The last 3 weeks we figured it out in the red zone, but it took us a while to get it going. And when it comes to playing defenses like San Francisco or Philly, I just don't know if Dak is capable of – I'm not going to say capable because he's clearly capable because he almost beat the Eagles in the regular season. So we know he has the ability. But the thing is, when he plays well, it's not enough. But when he plays bad, it's clearly not enough. So
let me ask you this, actually, real quick. When's the last time you actually remember Prescott leading kind of 2-minute drive to win the game?
I mean, I would
Field goal or
probably
touchdown?
say his rookie year. His rookie year was probably his best season. He was always coming up clutch. I can remember, I know he lost this game. It was a 2016 divisional against the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
And Dak Prescott, we were losing by a lot. And he led the comeback. He almost won us the game. And that was probably the most clutch I've ever seen him. Now, I'm not saying 2 minutes left or whatever. He hasn't really done that. I've never really seen him do that, but he's had his moments where he can do it. That's the thing.
It's been a while, though.
Yeah, I mean, his rookie season was his best year, and that was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is...
Time flies.
Yeah, it does. I mean, that's his highest QBR. That's his lowest interceptions. That was his most clean football. That's all he's got to do is not throw picks. And the minute he starts throwing picks, it's we're screwed. We're screwed because our defense can only bail us out so many times. And he just doesn't. Sometimes I don't think he understands how to throw it in front of the receiver. Sometimes he throws it behind sometimes, which, I mean, I get that happens sometimes, but he does it more often than not, which I know I went on a little Cowboys rant here, and I said I wasn't going to talk about it that long, which I did. But yeah, I think, I could get in the Cowboys all day long. So let's move on to Monday Night Football. We just watched the game. The Eagles came into Arrowhead. They won the game. I am a little concerned going forward for the Eagles with their offensive line and their pass protection. Their blocking on the run. It just didn't look that clean. But I feel like the Eagles, most of the Eagles wins this year haven't really been clean, to be honest. They've always kind of been close games, most of them.
Yeah, it brings me back to the first game they had against the Patriots. Of course,
they only won by 5.
The Patriots, yeah, they're now one of the worst teams in the league. And yeah, they only won by 5. They were winning most of the game, but the offense couldn't do anything after the pick six, one of the pick sixes, and I think there was just one pick six right in that game. Yeah, after the pick six, and the Patriots almost came back and won that game. So they win a lot of close games, but at least they do win them. And at the end of the day, they're still an all-around solid, well-rounded team.
Yeah, why is it that they're in so many close games though? I don't understand. It doesn't matter if they play the Chiefs or the Titans.
Maybe,
they're always in close games.
Maybe it's got something to do with the fact that they were in this Super Bowl last year, so they've already been there, and they kind of know that they don't have to do. It's kind of like they're a little bit full of themselves, but not in a too much of a bad way. Just kind of they know what it takes to get there, so they're not gonna.
What they don't push all the way on the gas pedal during the regular season.
Exactly, but they're still good enough to win a lot of these games.
I think tonight. I mean, the Chiefs defense was giving them a lot of problems. Like, I think the Chiefs defense is more elite than people realize. I mean, I think their secondary is very good. I mean, they were doing a good job on A.J. Brown for the most part. The only guy that really did damage for them, the Eagles, was Devontae Smith. I mean, A.J. Brown was kind of not really the biggest factor in the game, which that shows a lot about the Chiefs secondary, even though they lost. And their pass rush was always on Jalen Hurts. He was always going down. He was always in trouble. He was always having to run away from pressure. I think that's impressive, just even though the Chiefs lost. And it's not really Mahomes' fault. It's his receivers just, they don't really help him out. So,
of course, there was that big play, Marquez Valdes-Scantling dropping what probably could have been the surefire game-winning touchdown with 1 minute left.
There's been so many drops. There's been so many big-time drops this week, I feel like. I can't remember a week where there's been so many critical drops that could have changed the outcome of a game like that. Literally, I can't think of a time at all.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah, it's been weird.
Is the Chiefs Eagles? Is that a Super Bowl rematch that is a possibility of happening this year?
Definitely is. I don't want it to happen because I want to see newer teams, but the Eagles continue to be the best team in the NFC by record, and the Chiefs as well. The Chiefs just own the AFC, and now with the Bengals with Joe Burrow going down and the Bills, kind of losing their way, it's kind of wide open for the Chiefs unless the Jaguars Jaguars or Dolphins can kind of step up.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, we'll see which one of those teams step up. We'll get into Thanksgiving Day predictions. Tongue twister. Lions Packers 12:30. That's the first day. That's the first game on Thanksgiving Day. Jeez, I did it again. I'm gonna go Lions there. I mean, I think that's an obvious pick at home. They beat them on the Packers on the road last time. I mean, I think they're looking to play cleaner football against the Bears, against the Packers, since they didn't against the Bears. So they're gonna come out looking sharp, I think.
Yeah, I also have the Lions. I am hopeful that the Packers can win because of the recent improvements in Jordan Love's play in the last 2 weeks. But yeah, the Lions, they shredded the Packers. The game was over by the first half. That Thursday night game back in Week 4. So, and now they're at home now as well. So yeah, I'm going Lions.
And then we'll go to the Cowboys versus Commanders. I mean, a game that I think we're gonna easily win. I mean, the Commanders just lost to the Giants, so I mean, I don't even think there's really much competition there.
Yeah, I was gonna say Cowboys as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's at home.
Really hot take, I don't think.
It's at home. I mean, come on. If we lose, though, I'm going to be angry. Yes. Oh yeah. By the way, Sam Howell's leading the league in passing yards.
I did. I freaking saw that today as well. I was like, what?
And C.J. Stroud's second. Two young quarterbacks leading the league in passing. That's kind of interesting, honestly. Yeah. Sam Howell, though, so random, so freaking random.
Yeah, I did not expect that at all.
3,000 yards after 11 weeks. What?
Sure. Why not?
And then the last game to cap off Thanksgiving Day, we've got the Niners and Seahawks. I think this game will be a little more interesting than people think. But, I mean, I'm going to go Niners. I mean, their defense is too dominant. Their offense is too dominant. Purdy's coming off a perfect quarterback rating game. I mean, that's unprecedented. That's insane what he's doing. Seahawks just lost to the Rams, so.
Yeah, the Niners, they're such a well-rounded team. I mean, they had a little struggles there, but they had injuries as well. So I think it's going to be a Niners win. But Seattle's not terrible, so I think it's going to be an interesting game. Where is it? Is it in San Francisco or is it Seattle?
I want to say it's in Seattle.
It's so the same.
I want to say it's in Seattle. I'm pretty sure. It's on the road. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it's on the road.
Seattle, will have a little bigger advantage probably. But,
yeah, the 12th man and all that. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be. And the thing about San Francisco is injuries are going to prevent them from winning a Super Bowl.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, I think at some point they're going to have some kind of injury like Debo or George Kittle get hurt because it's usually one of those two guys because they can't stay healthy for a full season for some reason. But I think it's going to be, or CMC might get hurt. I mean, the fact that he's been healthy, like prior to coming to San Francisco, he was injury prone like crazy. Mm-hmm. Now he's been healthy. Like, it's just weird. Like,
yeah, that is really weird because, with Carolina, you got hurt so much, like season-ending injuries, and then all of a sudden he comes to San Francisco, and it's just like best
wow,
combinations ever.
Yeah, and he's playing every game in the season. It's like, I mean, I'm happy for him because, like, I mean, he's such a insane talent. Like, you don't want to see a guy like that go to waste, and you want to see him on the field. But it's crazy that he's transformed like that, and now he's actually durable. He can actually play. So, yeah. All right. This has been another episode of the Take Podcast. This is Packers fan Ethan Krinke. I'm not going to say whatever you said, but I'm the host of the Take Podcast. Jackson Burleson. Subscribe, like the video. Peace out.
Talk to me, baby. Talk to me nice. I'm from another world, baby, yeah. Broadway paradise. They think I'm way too cold, cause I put my heart up on